good. You might want to do what's kind of.
Yeah, I'm here.
We can get a later on.
All right, you ready to go? You ready?
Yeah.
All right, we back. We Need Answers podcast. This episode, I think it's episode 74. Back on the Real Wire episode. This part, I think this part 8. This might be our 8th one we did. We got my man Rudy, Mr. Rudy Linwood Williams in here. We're gonna talk about his time in Baltimore, growing up in Baltimore this time, and very popular case. I did my homework going, got a very big case that made a lot of noise in the city around that time. And yeah, just like I was telling you before we started, the Real Wire series is basically just to give your perspective on the city, what the city has made you, how you feel about the city, what it means to you. So in all different aspects, we started the very first one. We had Bodie brought on here Ronald, and he talked about his, and I had my uncles, my cousins, friends of mine. I had my aunts on here. So I like to hit a lot of different times in the history of Baltimore, and just put out that history, because a lot of people hear a lot of things about us, and they go off of that TV show and they assume a lot of things about us, and they know you only give us so much on the TV show. The TV show only go an hour max, and then at the end of the day, it's still entertainment. But I just try to provide some real insight to it for some real people that lived it and been here and still here. So starting off, I guess you can introduce yourself. When did you get here? What part of the city you from? All of that.
Originally I'm from East Baltimore as a kid, and my people moved to West Baltimore, Park Heights, when I was on Boys Village in 1968.
Okay.
But I lived in Baltimore all my life. I'm from Baltimore.
Okay. And what year were you born?
I was born in 1954.
And what was the 50s, 60s, and 70s like for you?
The 50s was like, we was poor, black people, there was still discrimination, which I wasn't aware of at the time, but later on, I read about and understood things that I lived, at the time. And we lived on, what street was that? Bradford Street, East Baltimore, then Monumental Street. And it was still a lot of whites in the neighborhood. A few Indians or Native Americans. They called them Indians then, Now they call themselves Native Americans because they originally from here.
Yeah. Oh, they dominated that area around that time?
The whites did, the poor integrated neighborhood.
Okay.
It was around the time, put it in perspective, it was time, the Supreme Court decision, Brown versus Board of Education.
Right.
Douglas Marshall represented. That was in 1954, So that integrated schools, right. So-called, So the neighborhoods was integrating too, but it was still, they integrated poor whites with poor blacks.
Okay. And what's some monumental things that happened around those years that's like historic things that happened in the country or in Baltimore around it? Like, I'm just trying to paint the picture of what was going on around this time.
Well, the first big thing, the national news, actually global, what happened when I was in, 1963, when I was in elementary school, going up down Broadway. I forget the name of the school, might be 159. And at that time, I was 9 years old, and President John Kennedy got killed.
Okay.
And we was in the classroom, and the principal came and announced and said that the school would be closing early, because the president got killed. At the time, I didn't know who he was, but I was happy because we was getting out early,
Right. Yeah.
I was, damn, they need to kill one every day, because I didn't like school at the time. I felt like I was in a box,
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a mini prison. They was getting me ready for,
Yeah.
So
that was one of the big things that happened around that time.
Right, I was just happy, to go home early,
Right. So what what was the like I know how you said that it was dominated by whites and Native Americans. So seeing the transition from what Monument Street and all the other parts of Baltimore, because I know like on a past episode we was talking about, my aunt was talking about how it was shopping stores up the village, it was hat companies and all that, and all over the city, like movie theaters up the village, stuff like that.
Ocean
Yeah. So
old department stores.
So how are you looking at the city?
Five and dime.
Yeah. So how does it transition from what it was to now, like make you look at the city like what it used to look like?
Oh, it's a big difference. We own more businesses, but very few businesses back then.
Okay.
I might add, when I was little, living around Monument Street, we used to play in the alleys, run around. We didn't have a lot of toys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We used to run around, play hopscotch with the girls. Sometimes play marbles and hide and seek and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And there was a lot of white still in the neighborhood, like I said, poor. You know, we used to run in the alley and be old white men in there. You know, the pants down, waving us in like, come on in the alley.
That's what type of white guys.
Yeah, you had to be careful. And they was like, you know how you have the buildings and all. They're not real alleys, but you can go through the buildings. They real narrow and all.
Yeah.
And then they got little nooks and candies in there.
Yeah.
You had to be careful moving through there, you know, at that age when you were a kid and all.
Yeah.
Because they'd be lurking in the alleys. Old white men.
Yeah, that's sick. So what was your transition to West Baltimore like?
Well, my transition to West Baltimore was like, I was up, when my people moved to West Baltimore, Park Heights area, I was still up Boys Village, I think.
Okay.
This was in '69, and they was living up there. At first, I was still going back. My friends was in East Baltimore. I was still going back over to East Baltimore. Really didn't like the West Baltimore crowd at the time, Park Heights, because when I was coming up in East Baltimore, you know, you move to another neighborhood, you know how the competition is, you be fighting and all.
Yeah.
Somebody, you know, get jumped, we get them, you know.
Yeah.
Or Park Heights, somebody get jumped, they be like, oh man, let it go, you know, we gonna get them and all that. And then,
okay.
And then hope you forget, you know, they used to let a lot of stuff go, you know. And,
East Baltimore was a lot rougher.
So to me, that wasn't gangster, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, so, but over time, you know, I got tired of going over East Baltimore, you know, back and forth and all. I started making friends up on Park Heights, you know.
Okay.
So, the only thing I didn't like about them, you know, they were smooth as far as dressing and things, you know. But, and with the girls, you know, but they ain't no fighting, you know, they ain't stand up for themselves, no respect.
Okay.
And later on, it became even more permanent when I turned 16, I was going over to city jail and all that. We had homeboys over there, you know, and they would not, you know, acknowledge that they came from Park Heights, because Park Heights boys ain't get no respect in the 60s.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if you go over there and you tell from Park Heights, you know, they gonna look at you like a sissy, a pretty boy, or something like that.
So they kind of made their name later on in the years.
Yeah, that can happen in the 80s.
Okay.
You know, that changed in the 80s.
Okay. I read that you went to when you went to boys camp, the boys village, that you said that you had to lie because the stories was like if you ain't going there for nothing serious, and they like try to come at you crazy, so you told them. I think you said the first time, the article I read, the first time you went, you said it was for
Hooker School.
Yeah, yeah. So you had to tell them you
right.
Yeah.
The second time I made sure, you know, that
it was worse.
It was something, you know, for auto theft or burglary or something like that.
What was how old was you the first time you went?
First time I was 13.
Okay. And it was for hooking school.
Yeah, it was for hooking school.
And then you went in and you and I know this is always a saying that I always hear now. And when you said in the article that I read, it's like a lot of people when they go to jail, they call it college or like school, because they meet. That's when they really learn or meet other people that give.
Oh yeah.
So when you left, you came home a whole different person.
True.
Or sharpened your tool in the streets.
True. I really learned about the world in prison.
Okay.
Ironically, you know. And on top of that, not just learn about the world, right, but you find you go to jail, that's when you become free.
Okay.
People out here is not really free because they think they're making their own decision, but they're influenced by it, you know, and there's so many influences that they can't really put their finger on. They can't see them, you know.
Right.
But when you're in jail, you got time to think.
Okay.
You can see all the influences. Now you think about how you got there, you know.
Yeah.
That's probably the first time you did any real thinking, you know.
Right, because you've been
People out here
forced
don't
to.
do no thinking. They on a treadmill, they jumping.
Right. And being in there, you forced to think because you ain't really
You
got too
forced to
many
think.
other things to do.
And you got all the time in the world to think.
Right.
And actually thinking is the best thing you could ever do. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Because if you do it well, you ain't got to do no physical work. You know?
Right.
Because people gonna come to you to solve their problems. You know?
Right. So how was you? So when you went back after 13, how long was you in there after that?
Probably, let me see where I went. I was in Boy Village, Victor Color, which was like a gladiator school. This was like, make Boy Village look like a kindergarten. It was tough up there. You had to fight up there. You know?
Okay.
And when I went up there, they put me in the biggest unit. They call them units up there. In Boy Village, it was cottages, but they call them units up there. And they put me in with the big boys. Number 8, you know. I think it's 1 to 8 units. That's where the big boys was at, you know. And they put me in there, and the guys were surprised when they seen me. They was like, "What? Hey, bring that little boy over here," you know. Because they, you know, they was proud, that, you know, of their status being the big boys, you know.
Yeah.
And bringing me over there, you know, that was like going against the grain, you know. So, but it was just a matter of time before I got in the mix, you know, and I ended up running it.
Okay.
I ended up running it, you know.
And you came home. How long was you in there when you went to that?
I was in there. When I was in there, they came and I asked anybody that they want to go to forest camp. This was in '69 somewhere. And I said, "Yeah, I want to go to forest camp." Me and a couple other dudes went up forest camp. We get up forest camp, you know, they say you work, you make money and all that, and they work you like a slave. They give you less than minimum wages, and you chopping down trees up here, man.
Oh, wow.
Real trees up here. Yeah, and it's like 6-7 hours from Baltimore. Yeah.
It's still in Maryland?
Yeah, it's in Maryland. It's in Cumberland, Maryland. Then they got certain, we was in, what was it? Firestone, Maryland.
Oh, that's deep. That's like deep south.
Yeah,
South
we was,
Maryland,
it's a 5-6 hour ride, you know.
Okay.
So you can't escape from up there, you know. You gotta wait till they give you a weekend and don't come back. You know, trying to escape from there, like Boys Village and all.
Yeah. You can escape from Boys Village.
Yeah, you can escape from Boys Village. You know, most of the guys get caught, you know, but you can escape from.
So when you left all of the camps and you came home, I'm assuming you was an adult at this time, right? When you
No, I was still a juvenile.
Okay. So how was it when you got back out? What was the streets like?
I ain't stay out long enough to really know what the streets like, you know, because I stayed into Vincent.
Okay.
To tell you the truth, man, stealing and robbing was a way of life, you know.
Back in the day, right?
Yeah, because we wasn't conforming to no rules back then, restriction, you know.
Okay.
Society put a limitation on you as you coming up and all that.
Yeah.
So we wanted to be restrained, you know.
Yeah.
Most of the dudes you find in jail like alpha males and all. Now I don't mind obeying the rules. Once I agree to the rules, I obey them to 100%. The rules that I don't have no input, no say in it, somebody else made them up, I got a problem with that. Man.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm not benefiting from these rules. These rules are actually limiting me, you know, restricting me, you know. Society rules like they did, you know.
Yeah.
Boy, you're gonna be a soda truck driver, you know, when you grow up. This is what your teacher telling you, you know. Principles and people with authority.
You can't be bigger than that. That's
right.
what they try to teach you.
Right. So I took to the streets when I was probably 7, 8 years old, you know. getting what I want, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family wasn't rich or anything like that. I saw things that I wanted, you know.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I stole something, man. It was 50s, and I don't know. No, it was probably early 60s, but I don't know what year it was. It was on Jefferson Street, East Baltimore. They had an A&P. I don't think they have no more. They got Giants and Kroger's and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they had an A&P chain of supermarkets.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my cousin, we went to the supermarket. Me, my cousin, my brother. And they had a line. We was waiting on the line, you know, to check out. So my cousin turned to me and said, reach up there and get some of them Lifesavers sneakers off the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I do it. He said, put them in your pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put them in my pocket, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So tell my brother do the same thing, right? So we get through the line and all, and he paid for a host of Trinky or something like that. We get around the corner and pull it out, you know? And I'm like, damn, I didn't know you can do that. You know?
Yeah.
I didn't know you can get things without paying for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we tried to have a little celebration. We were singing Three Blind Mice, Three Blind Mice.
Yeah.
We don't have to work. We don't
Yeah.
have to work, you know?
Uh-huh.
And, you know, that was like this, you know, when man discovered fire, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, from here on out, man, I'm
Just
good.
take it. Yeah.
I take what I want. I don't need no money.
So before you got into like anything else, that was your main way of getting money was robbing.
Robbing, stealing, yeah.
Okay. I know robbing banks was real big back then too.
Right.
At that time.
Yeah, I was never a bank robber.
Okay.
I was never a bank robber.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Because robbing banks, you don't learn any discipline, you know.
Yeah.
See, I went away like 17, really, when I really turned the corner and start really thinking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Started thinking about different things, examining everything. So that was before I even could get into robbing the bank. You know?
Okay.
Robbing the bank is really a dangerous occupation because if somebody, you know, you tell somebody get on the floor and all that, or you got a security guard in there, he reached for his gun, he had made a decision for you. You might not want to kill him,
Yeah,
but
but
now
now
it's
you
kill
gotta
and be
do
killed.
something. Yeah.
You know, you don't want to get caught, you know.
Yeah.
So that's like so high risk. Adrenaline, you got to be a junkie, you know,
Yeah.
for that rush, you know.
Yeah.
Like Evil Knievel somebody.
Right.
You know, it's a dangerous. And then when you get the money, it came so easy. You might spend it in one day.
Yeah, because
You
it
might
was
spend
easy.
it in one day, and then you right back in the bank and all that.
Right.
You might get away with 5 or 6 of them, but they will catch you.
Right.
They will catch you. When they catch you, you face it 1,000 years. You know.
Okay.
So I that never really appealed to me, you know. I used to rob drug dealers though, you know, other drug dealers.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to rob drug dealers.
Okay.
That was dangerous too, you know.
Yeah.
Not during that time because in the late 60s and the early 70s, the stick-up boys, the bandits had the upper hand.
Okay.
We moved in little gangs and all. You know, we moved from parts of the city.
Okay.
Just robbing everybody, you know. And after I was like the youngest one in the bunch. I was like 16, 17 years old. The rest of them was like 25, 27, 80. Why they let me hang with them? Because I was serious and all, and I had heart, you know.
Yeah.
So they would sit on to them a lot of times.
A new face.
Those boys knew their faces and
Yeah.
all that. See, dealing dough back then was like mom and pop operation, you know. It was small, you know. It was 2-man operation. One staying on a corner collecting money, send the other one in the alley, get the dope that's hidden behind a telephone pole or something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Maybe had a gun, maybe not, you know. It was tiny back then. So stick-up boys, you know, outnumbered them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved around and in teams and shit, 5 or 6 of us. Sometimes it might be 2, you know, 1, you know.
Yeah.
We would hook up, you know, and I was like the little one, you know, I was a baby in the bunch, right?
Okay.
So what they did with me was to, since I wasn't known like them, you know, and I didn't look like no threat, they used to send me down there, you know, asked about the dope.
Okay.
When while I'm talking to them, they would sneak up behind them, you know,
Okay.
pull guns on them. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would walk down there and get the up on them, and then they'll come out, you know,
Okay.
and we would rob people, you know.
Yeah.
But even back then and all, I was like a businessman, you know.
Mm.
They would shoot the dope up and get high, you know.
You wanted the money.
Yeah, with the money, you know. So I would take mine and sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I seen, I was like, this is better than sticking up people, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I take my little profits and start going down to South Baltimore. Big drug dealer, Liddy Jones. And if you, $85, you could take a bundle and for $85 make 360 or something like that. So I started doing that. I made a little money, but my career was interrupted by, you know, crime and all that. I got a manslaughter charge at 17, sent me away for, I got 5 years for it. While I was incarcerated, I got 10 years for attempt murder. Then I got another attempt murder, but I representing myself, I ended up getting 3 years for lieutenant, protection. And so that's what interrupted. When I come back home, you know, the drug game had blew up, you know, it was massive. You know? It was no longer mom and pop, 2-man operation. It was actually like a corporate division of labor, highly organized. You know? Guys had more resources, more money, bigger crew. They killed off all the sticker boys and stuff. You know?
That game was over.
Nah, they turned the corner. Now they got the power. They got the advantage and all. And they making millions, so they had to protect the money. You know?
So people was moving a lot stronger. And what years was this you talking about?
This was in the 80s.
This is when
in the late 70s and the 80s, especially the early 80s. Yeah.
And once you came home, you was like, since the robbing game over, I'm just gonna jump in the drug game.
Even before I came home, you know, while I was in it, was young kids coming in there who I met that was already in the game, you know. And people was telling me about them, and they had their pictures and all of the Mercedes Benzes and stuff like it. The girls at the club, the jewelry and all. So I was reluctant to get in there actually for real, because while I was in, I was more militant and I was for the people the whole time, you know. But gradually, you know, people started convincing me that people didn't want any change and they want to live like they live, and you just waste your time. Ain't nobody gonna listen to you. My family mainly come and see me. I'm trying to convert them, trying to, you know, make them conscious, and they resisted, you know. So I didn't even listen to them at first. I had it all figured out, you know.
Yeah.
So, but within the last year before I came home, they started making some progress with their argument. I was like, I opened my mind. I said, okay, let me look at it from their point of view.
Yeah.
So maybe they right. You know, I get out there and people don't want no change. I said, all right, if I get out there, I'm gonna get mine. That was my attitude. Fuck them, you know.
Yeah.
They don't want it, then I'm gonna get mine, you know.
Right.
And once you take on a thought, you know, that thought tend to go, you go in that direction. And that's where my mind was going by the time I got out. And once I got out there, it went too far, you know. You go too far, you know.
Yeah.
Don't nothing cause you change direction except for an accident, you know, something.
Yeah.
Tragedy is.
Right. So once you got out, so let me ask you this. I'm gonna jump ahead and stay in this. Being in the system, right? When you locked up and you seeing when you're doing a lot of time. I think you said something about this in the article, but when you're in there and you seeing as different years pass and you seeing how the world changing and you seeing young guys come in, like you said, you seeing the guys come in and now you seeing what's going on out there, the cars and clothes and the game change. So when you seeing that, today, I know a lot of people say my elders and all that, they always say how the young kids don't have no respect today. For nothing, the game changed, even just regular life changed. The younger people don't respect a lot of things that everybody is raised in that time to respect. Respect the elders, period. So, what's something while you was in the system that you experienced, like, oh, this is real different now. Besides what you already said, like, just coming into contact with different age groups. Cause how many years total you did locked up?
Or what's it bit?
Just
per
like if you was to
altogether.
say like how many years of your life have you done total behind the wall?
About 41 or
So you seen
about, yeah, about maybe more than that, about 45.
so you seen so many eras of new people coming in, and,
Right.
and what what stood out to you the most about like every time I'm in there I can see like this is what's changing in the world.
Well, when I first went in, started going in, like I said, a boy village, you have a pecking order, you know,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Respect is issued out according to the seriousness of your crime. You know?
Right.
You in for serious crime, and the sticker boys was like in the 70s,
Mhm.
bank robbers.
Mm-hmm.
They was at the top of the pecking order.
Okay.
But in the 80s, all that changed, you know, because the dope boys was getting more money.
Right.
You see them on TV, they making movies out of them, and
Yeah.
they in the newspaper, on the news, and
Yeah.
magazines, and
Yeah.
so the bank robbers, they became irrelevant, you know,
Mhm.
our shadow.
Yeah.
And then you have guys in jail thinking about what criminal pursuit they gonna take when they get out now.
Yeah.
You know, now everybody wanna be a dope boy now,
Mm-hmm.
because there's more money in it. You know? And you know, the money is not really slow. It's slower than the stick up, but it's still fast enough, you know, to achieve your dreams and all.
Right.
See, American society, they put the American dream in our heads when we kids, but they don't give us as black men
The way
no
to get it.
means enough.
Yeah.
They give one or two, you know, good boys,
Yeah.
and you gotta be a good boy too,
Right.
you know.
Right. We gotta work harder to get
They
it.
give them, they open some doors for them so they can reach the stats, then use them as poster boys to say that,
I helped one of them.
see that you can make it in society if you do this and do that, this and that. And
Right.
if you don't make it, that's because you didn't do this and that,
Right.
this and that.
Well,
right?
we don't know too many of them guys.
Right, we don't. Now I
Yeah.
didn't know any of them in my
Right.
neighborhood,
Right.
you know,
Right.
doctors and lawyers and all.
Yeah.
Because they move out once they get a certain level.
Right. And
I ain't
don't
saying
reach
that.
back
With,
to hand.
yeah, they
help
move
them
out, you know,
Yeah.
because they trying to live. They don't want to share what they have.
Yeah.
They trying to get with people that got more than they do.
Right.
They don't want nobody knocking on their door late at night talking about you got some Hennessy and
Yeah.
a cup of sugar. You know?
Yeah.
One.
One thing I always say on here, especially on these episodes, is that you know, a lot of people become a product of their environment because that's all they know. So you can't really, especially in a time like back in your time, because there wasn't a lot of opportunities anyway for us. So if all we know is this area, these people that come up, these robbers, like you said, somebody showed you how to steal. Don't nobody show you how to be a doctor or
Right.
show you how to go to college or nothing like that. So if you don't get the mind frame to go to college or go in and search this field and now, you're not gonna get it more than likely unless you want different. And back then those opportunities wasn't as present.
Well, the responsibility, societal responsibility
Mm-hmm.
for directing people in different areas
Mm-hmm.
is the institution, school,
Right.
college,
Yeah.
the media, and all that.
True.
So they actually, you know,
Mm-hmm.
directed us into other areas. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
They didn't direct us in. They didn't teach entrepreneurship in
Right.
school.
Right. Still don't.
The economics was home economics of how to save money on flour and cook biscuits and all that, so you
Yeah.
won't have to
Right.
eat out in restaurants.
Yeah.
'Cause we did-
Stuff that
that's
really
what
ain't-
home
really
and
ain't.
they taught that to the females in school. You
Yeah.
know, home economics, how to cook, how to buy flour and some
Right.
sugar, and make
Right.
cakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They ain't teach us anything
So they-
about economics.
They taught them how to be housewives, basically.
Right, you know,
Yeah.
the limited, you know, to play role players.
Right, right.
When you go all the way back to the, you go all the way back in this history, you know, early 1900s, who formed the United States Board of Education school system?
Mm-hmm.
People don't even know. They think the government did it, but that money came from the business titans, Rockefeller, Dale Carnegie, and Ford, and all these.
Yeah.
They the ones set that school up, these school systems up, and all that.
So they gonna teach
and they
what they want them to.
curriculum.
Yeah,
because they need factory workers
right,
at the time.
Right,
you know?
right. Okay.
They needed factory workers
Makes
and all
sense.
that, right?
Makes sense.
They didn't need no competition.
Yeah.
Somebody that
Going to make
teaching
another
political
business.
science.
Yeah.
Sociology or businesses and all that. No, they taught you how to read and write so you can follow the directions on a map to get to the factory.
Right.
Enough math so you
Yeah.
can figure out your check, and
Right.
that you get paid the amount of money,
That's crazy, man.
So
you
they
put it in that
designed
perspective, that's crazy.
Spelman, did we make a big deal out of Morehouse, Howard, and all that?
Yeah.
That money from Rockefeller family, the bankers,
Uh-huh.
they had all the money.
Right.
They mold and shape society,
Okay.
and directed everybody into the roles they play and all,
Right.
which was the limitation and all.
Yeah.
But they say, well, okay, every now and then you're gonna get a black man of super intelligence, Obama, Jesse Jackson, and all that. So we got to give them a little more to make them part of the system.
Yeah.
So we can hold them up, advertise them, say, see, they made it, y'all can make it too.
Yeah. In all reality, it ain't gonna go that way. We ain't gonna tell you how, but we can show you we got this one that he did this. So.
And then they forget about us because they become part of the elite system. They elite stand. They got prestige power, they live in certain neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And it's natural for a person to want to be superior rather than
The next person.
held in high self-esteem and all that.
Yeah.
So they play a game too,
Right.
But look at now, they say this. You gotta watch people for a long time. When they say something, all that, I don't really doubt it, I don't know you, So I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm gonna watch you to see if you follow up on it.
Yeah.
And you had all these politicians claiming that they were for these poor people and they gonna fight for them and I love you and this and that while they was campaigning. And even in office they were giving lip service. But now that they out of the office, the White House and all that, where are they now?
Right.
You seen any of them?
No.
You see them in the magazine on TV, but where are they when you see them? They in the French Riviera, jet skiing, hobnob, and rubbing elbows with the wrists and the power structure.
But they ain't with us.
Yeah, they said they was with us. They said they was with us. They love us and all that.
Yeah.
But they ain't with us.
Right.
They don't even live with us.
Right.
They ain't even trying to come in the hood.
It's far
They trying to send more police in the hood,
Yeah.
when they come in there.
Right.
They the ones, passing the bills.
Right.
But they don't really, they not for, sharing the wealth. They for taking all they can and putting police in there to keep you from getting it, taking it back.
Right.
Taking it back.
Right. So before we got on, I'm gonna ask you one question and we're gonna jump ahead a little bit. When we was in the talk before we got on, you were saying how Baltimore is real prominent in the jail system.
Yeah, Baltimore is respected,
Always has been.
Yeah, really respected,
Top dogs.
Yeah, they stand out in terms of being real,
Yeah. Always
being real. Yeah.
respected us hands down like we was the ones in the joint.
Right.
Okay. So when you came, so we jump a little bit ahead to your, the real big case that's behind your name or whatever. So basically you got in the drug game, you had your way in the drug game and all that, and how.
For a while.
So I
had a little run.
So talk about your run. Like, how did you get started and all that?
Well, as long as I wanted to be, but like I said, when I came home, I was disillusioned with black people being committed and really wanting to change, They convinced me, I had my eye open, and I seen, okay, and it's like water. Water take the easiest route, right? And that's human nature too. So I calculated, how long. It's hard to even get to one person. You talking about masses of people, millions and all that.
Yeah.
You might stand a better chance getting to millions than one person,
Yeah.
For real. Psychology is easier to control a million people than it is one person.
Cause everybody gonna follow after the next person, or is that?
I'm gonna give you an example. You go to a speech. Somebody's giving a speech.
Mm-hmm.
You got 100, 200, 300 people in the audience. And at the end of the speech, he might open it to questions, you know.
Okay.
And you had people sitting in there. Because I done gave speeches, a lot of them, you know. And after the speech, people see you by yourself. And they'll come up to you and they'll say, man, I wanted to ask you a question, man. I really want to ask you a question, you know, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Everybody would do that, but while they there with all these people, they lose their heart in the crowd. Yeah. People lose their heart.
It take one.
You see, a mob is like a woman, you know, soft.
Okay. Because
they're afraid about other people's positions. They might be alone in their positions, so they're not going to speak up.
Right.
That's how Hitler, Mussolini, and all these leaders was able to control millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
But when you get a person by themselves, as you and him, they ask you all kinds of questions.
Right.
Get smart with you. Hell with you, I don't believe nothing you say, you know. But they're not gonna do that.
If everybody else in the crowd showing respect and chilling, and
they're not gonna do that. And that's what's happening with society now.
Yeah, 100%.
People lose their heart in crowds now.
Yeah.
That's why it's easier to control a crowd than it is one person.
That's a fact. I understand totally what you mean. Now, social media, that's that.
Yeah, that's why they used to stand there, all the white people that participated or, you know, stood by and watched a black man get killed. They wasn't bad people, not all of them. But they just ain't had the heart to step up.
Right.
One man, big mouth man, loud and all that, he could control that whole mob.
Yeah.
Because everybody is not, they don't know how many people with him and all. They don't want to be isolated and all.
Like how riots start. If one person kick it off and everybody else feel comfortable doing it.
They gonna follow.
Yeah.
They're gonna follow. It's like a whirlpool, you know.
Right.
Start off small and that's why Hitler used a swastika symbolize power, you know. Because it represents a whirlpool.
Okay.
If they start turning and all that, get bigger and bigger, you know, it sucks up everything. That's what he did with Germany, you know.
Okay.
He knew what he was doing. He was a genius, you know.
Yeah, I watched a documentary on him recently. It was about all leaders, but they talked about a lot of what he was doing because he was a small guy at first. He wasn't really known. He worked his way up kind of.
He actually, the history say he was a military intelligence undercover. They sent him down there to spy on these political groups and things like that.
Okay.
He got down there, you know, he was spying on them. They didn't know it. Somebody told him, get up and make a speech. He got up. He surprised himself that he was that eloquent, you know.
Yeah, he seen how
he became real with it after a while. Yeah. And he grew from there. He was able to keep the system off him because he was like playing both sides. They helped him get big. They put money behind him and everything. They created a monster, and when he turned on him like Frankenstein, they was like, what's wrong with him? We got to get him. We got to take him down.
Can't handle him now.
They created a monster, but then they going to tell us he's a monster all along. They hide their hand. They don't want us to know. Nah, you help him get there.
So you were saying, you was about to go into when you started, well, Ben started, when you took over, when you made your run.
Oh, yeah. I was just, like I was saying, I was disillusioned at the time with people really wanting to change and all. I spent 11 years, you know, preparing, studying the fields of knowledge that I need, history and all that. Not only just that, I was disciplining the whole thing. You know? So, but by the time I get out, I'm disillusioned with that. So I was like, well, I'm gonna get mine, you know. The money is freedom. And the quickest path to money at the time was the drug game. Now, I've met a few youngins that was out there. You ever get home, call me, man. That I looked out for. You know, call me when you get home, man.
And they was already doing their thing.
This is my father's address, my mother's phone number. Yeah, they were back doing their thing, you know, so.
So once you got started, you took you had your run, and What was the highlight of your run?
The highlight of my run?
Yeah.
I don't think I can put my finger on the highlight because once I got in a certain position, you know, every day was a highlight. You know?
Oh yeah, you living life.
Yeah, every day was a highlight. You know? I was in control for a minute. I was in control of my own destiny. You know? Get up in the morning, you know.
In a certain part of the city, or you was just?
No, I was everywhere. You know?
Everywhere.
Even in other cities too. You know?
Okay.
So, and money is freedom, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to be free. You know? The bird want to be free.
Yeah.
The lions, you got caged up in there out in Jew Hill Park.
Yeah.
They trying to get out of there, but you done trained them, you know.
Right.
They just gave up, you know. You can open the door, man, they ain't going nowhere. Like us, man.
Yeah.
A lot of us ain't going, you can open doors. We got all the opportunity, and we ain't gonna take advantage of it. So you got all these different nationalities coming over here, and they was like, what? Ooh. 2 months, you know, they own everything. Bars, gas stations and all that. We've been over here all our lives.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you know. Because the chains is on our minds now. They not on our legs and arms and handcuffs, and they on our mind, man.
Right. One of the big things you started was a bail bondsman. And I read in the article that you said that that was the way that a lot of people got in contact with you. Because you wasn't dealing with nobody just off the trying to meet you and holler at you.
True.
You would just bail. If you wanted to meet me, you can get bailed, and you ran it up like that.
True. That's how some dudes were cutting into me. Huh?
Okay.
They could afford to get one of their people out on a $100,000 bail or something like that. You know, they was gonna come see me because they killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah. And I seen you said something about like because a lot of dudes was groupies. They was drug dealer groupies. They wanted to be, and I see that still going today. Like a lot of people just want to be associated or be around somebody they heard of or know of the name and all that type of stuff. And the social media escalated that way past that because now it's if you see a picture of somebody and they look like they get money, they want to act like they know them or they want to be around the guy don't know nothing about him. But back in the day, a lot of people would try to get up on you just because they knew your name and what they heard of you.
True. I mean, that didn't start there. It go way back, you know.
Yeah.
Go back to television, you know. We had the Humphrey Bogart on there, Jane Cagney, John Dillinger, and all that. Yeah. It shows, you know, that America has always been fascinated with bad guys, outlaws, and it was founded by outlaws.
Right.
George Washington. Yeah. Thomas Jefferson, all these dudes was outlaws in there. They was criminals to England who actually owned America prior to them. They took that from England. They was criminals, alpha males. They didn't like the laws, so they was like, hell with it. You ain't taxing me for nothing.
Start out.
Where my money going at, you know? Going to the rich people and all that. So they put their views and things in the Declaration of Independence. They declared them, you know, like, yeah, this is why we doing this and and they organized, they came together, you know, and they overthrew them, right? So they was criminals, same way they criminalized us. The British government, King George criminalized them. Yeah. They criminalized us. That, because power is based on prestige. People perceive that you special or you important or something like that because you got on a Rolex with diamonds. You know, people hold you in high regard.
Because of what it looked like.
Or you drive the Benz and all that. But as individually, physically, you only so strong. You know? But that prestige, though, you know, people
that's
like,
all they need to see.
So that's why they criminalize us. They criminalize us, but they legit, you know. They legit, you know, whatever they do. They go, you know, invade Cuba, take the people's resources, overthrow the government, put gambling down there, prostitution, bootleg and rum like they was doing and all that. That's legit. It's free trade. free trade, which, you know, they tout that, you know. But if you do that in the hood, then you're a criminal. You know?
Yeah.
So that's a tool that they use, you know, to get power.
Right.
Power is based on the perception. You know?
Yeah.
I'd have been places where nobody knew who I was. You know? I was just another person in there. I didn't have no special privileges or anything, you know, just like everybody else. Then somebody might come up and say my name, you know, call my name out, then everybody turn, oh, you so-and-so? You want to get on the phone?
Yeah.
I'm on the commissary, you want something and all that, you know?
Yeah.
It's based on the perception, prestige.
Yeah.
And that's why you have the real gifted con man, in power. I ain't talking about little dudes on the street, the real pimps. I ain't talking about the dude with a leather suit on, a red leather suit, and the cherry curl, the big chain, staying out on the corner in 100-degree temperature. He got to stay on the move because if he go in the house, leave his car, repo man gonna get it. I ain't talking about that pimp right there.
Yeah.
You know? That's what they taught us what a pimp was.
Right,
so we want to know who the real pimps is.
Right.
Yeah. But they all operate on the same principle. The Pope, when he got his staff, his little canes and the gold and all that, you know, that's big pimping right there, like Jay-Z was talking about. Yeah, that's big pimping for real. He's using his costume
to control.
He's using his performance, to influence people, get people to follow him, listen to him, you know, work for him, pay him taxes and donations and all that, so he can just lay up and gotta do no work, and he can just come up with new schemes, you know, to enslave people with.
Right. That's 100%.
That's what they doing, man.
100%.
That's what they doing and all that. And if you figure it out, what they do, they gonna step to you and try to pull you in to join them.
Yeah. Cause you got some sense.
Yeah, come on in. You got some sense and all that, right? Why is you out there protesting and picketing for the people?
Right. Yeah.
The people don't want nothing.
They ain't on your level.
They just want to get high.
Yeah, they ain't on
you
your
know?
level. Yeah.
But come on in, man.
Right.
Matter of fact, we having a party for Thanksgiving at the Walter Art Gallery. I'm gonna introduce you to some people.
Speaking of that, also in your article, it talked about how you was with a lot of you helped a lot of political people get in place. Like you did a lot of campaigning for Mayor Kurt Smoke and all them.
Yeah, I did.
How you get in that?
My man. I used to eat lunch with him like maybe every other week down at the Palmer House.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't judge you when you got money and you intelligent. Because that's how they know you're intelligent. So how far you go, and they don't judge you. You know? Yeah. Come on in. You know.
They
the
knew
only one pissed off at is the law enforcement. They you making it hard for them when they can't catch you. They the ones. But the businessmen, the doctors, the dealerships, Ferrari dealerships and all that. They pulling on you and all that. What you doing for Thanksgiving?
Right.
You ain't doing nothing. You know, come over my house. You know.
Yeah. So and they knew how you was making your living.
Yeah, they knew. They don't care about that.
Right.
That's only one thing that really counts, and that's intelligence. You can't contain intelligence.
Right.
You can't label intelligence or he a criminal and all that. Because the only thing, you can't put it in jail and contain it.
Right.
Yeah.
Make him stronger.
Yeah. I ain't never seen a cell or any kind of box that can contain intelligence. Right. Intelligence gonna get out. It's not a physical thing. That you can put handcuffs on and put it in a cell.
Endless. It's endless.
Yeah. So you can write your own ticket, you know.
Yeah. That's just, you made a great point with that one. So when you caught, so you was given, correct me if I'm wrong, you was given life?
Life in 130 years.
For what was the charge?
The charge was conspiracy. And basically, I was convicted on. I was charged with everything, but they found me guilty on 846 conspiracy.
And that's like
and they carried 20 years, right? But back then, they played the rules. They had to lock up a lot of black people during the 80s.
Okay.
To understand things, you got to know the whole context, see the big picture. back in the 80s, early 80s, what was going on then?
Mm-hmm.
The Cold War was over with
Mm-hmm.
Russia.
Mm-hmm.
They tore down the Berlin Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan got the credit for it. He was the president.
Mm-hmm.
Tear down this wall, Mr. Global Troll, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Take down this wall.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the news clipping of him, you know, so
Mm-hmm.
claiming, taking credit for stuff that he had nothing to do with.
Right.
You know, that's what it's all about anyway.
Yeah.
But so they ended the Cold War, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So then they got all these spies over there, Eastern Germany.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need them no more. They ain't got no job for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked Reagan, what you gonna do with them? We're gonna bring them back home, you know, and use them in the war on drugs.
Yeah.
I seen it on TV, but I wasn't paying a little attention.
Mm-hmm.
I was busy, man, you know.
Yeah.
So I seen them. I ain't giving no thought, man. You gotta do what y'all gotta do. We gonna do what we gonna do.
Yeah.
So we stand on corner of Park Heights one day, wait for my car to get washed, and we talking, you know. And we look, and we see this car driving down the street. Deep, four white men in there, man.
Mm-hmm.
They looking. We know these are not locals.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, damn, they here already.
Right.
That's them dudes he talking about bringing back.
Oh, okay.
And use them in the war drugs.
Okay.
You know, they was there already, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, so all right. So we still that, you know, we still gotta do what we gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
They just gotta catch us. It's one of those, right? But we not gonna starve.
Mm-hmm.
We not gonna go to work, you know, and build houses for somebody else while they get rich, and we get some minimum wages, come home, you know, pop some popcorn, and you know, and cut the TV on, and sit on the couch,
Mm-hmm.
get fat, you know. Nah, we ain't doing that. We got dreams too,
Mm-hmm.
ambition. We gonna get ours. This is the only way they left us to really get them.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't go to Harvard and Yale and all that. We got a bad start. They wanted me to do that. They should have told me that when I was 13 years old.
Right.
They put me on Boys Village for Hooker School.
Right.
Where was you then? You know, why didn't you recognize me then? You know that I have leadership ability and all.
It's
You
too late,
saying
man.
that now, right? To make yourself look good, make you look like the good guy, and me the totally bad guy, the villain. You know.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing, man. You ain't never want me to be nothing but a criminal.
Yeah.
Because you ain't trying to compete with me for real. So, but anyway, they back in the hood. You know, they got the cops in the hood now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen to the old news clipping and all that, they said what they gonna do. We're gonna create a new position called the drug czar. The whole department, we're gonna give them billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar budget and all that. And we're gonna employ them against because the people scared. They out there killing, people stealing and all that. And we gotta stop this drug thing
Mm-hmm.
in the black neighborhood though.
Mm-hmm.
Wall Street,
They good.
they good, you know. Across the tracks, they good. But the black neighborhood, yeah. So what they did, they put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
They put on a show, you know, to criminalize us.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the drug dealers, but the black race too. It's a residual, it's a spillover, you know.
Yeah.
Most of them dudes are criminals and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta police them real hard because if you don't, they gonna break the law.
Right.
They corrupt by nature, you know.
Yeah.
So they brought him back, you know, and they didn't phase us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we, you know, it's a battle west. We thought we were smarter than them, which we were in some ways and all that, because they couldn't get us straight up after a while. When they can't get you straight up,
Conspiracy.
yeah, they break the rules. They,
Yeah.
you know, so they.
Because that's
You're
like
not gonna, they were like, you're not gonna beat us. We got too much power.
Yeah.
We can go down in the hood and scare your mama and put her on the stand against you. Your best friend and all that.
Man.
You know.
They undefeated.
We'll get anybody that don't help us get you. You either with us or against us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They use power. They don't really use a lot of, even with all their technology, the surveillance stuff. wiretap orders and things like informants, and they still don't get it right, man.
Yeah.
They don't get it right. They'll get something, and if it falls short, they'll make the rest of it up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got to, so they brought him back, you know, and they put him on the hood. And they had a strategy, you know. They had a strategy. They was like, look, we done appropriate a lot of money from Congress to create this new department, agency. All right, so we gotta have results and all.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta show results and all. So what we gonna do, we gonna go through all the cities, you know, and send the agents out there, you know, the informants, liaison with the city police and this, that, and other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna bust the major dudes in them. So they go to the city, they radiate out to the United States, to different towns. Who's the guy out here? Who's the man in this town?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's Art Bar Prey in New Jersey, Rayful Edmond in DC,
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Montana in New York, Rudy Williams in Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
Lord Melvin. Whoever most visible big dude in town,
That's what they going.
that's the target. He might not be the big dude, right?
Yeah.
But it's all about visuals, you know. It ain't about reality, you know.
Yeah.
So they drew up their list.
Mm-hmm.
You had flamboyant dudes that was driving Rolls Royce, Ferraris, Bentleys and stuff back in them days. That's the one they want.
Yeah.
Because that's the one everybody perceived as the big man, you know.
You was rolling like that?
Somewhat, you know. Somewhat. But so they drew up lists.
Mm-hmm.
And they appropriated budgets. They appointed them agents so they will have a job, you know, because if you remember, like I said, the Cold War ended, it's supposed to be over with.
Yeah.
Even though that's symbolic, you know.
Right.
And why you need a Cold War, you need that because to control people and all that and keep them interested, you need a narrative, you know. People feed off stories.
Yeah.
Right? And a narrative is organized, you know, and it has a point and a message, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you rambling and all that, ain't nobody gonna pay you no attention.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to take and create a story
Mm-hmm.
all the time. You see the president on there, he doing this, he doing that, and that way you keep the people watching and listening.
Kind of like what's going on now with this COVID stuff.
Yeah, with the COVID.
Yeah.
The COVID,
I follow.
the aftermath, the war on the Capitol, January 6th.
Yeah.
You got these ongoing stories and all that. They keep them going and
I
all
got
that.
you.
Why?
I got you.
Because what they're doing through the stories, they're molding and shaping the people's minds,
The narrative.
their mindset,
Yeah.
how they see things and how they
Mm-hmm.
think. And then people don't see that, and they be like, nobody think for me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, hand me that Hennessy right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's go get some pork chops.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So, go ahead.
Because they hide their hand, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
The good boys, the big boys, the really sharp ones
Yeah.
that went to Harvard, Princeton, and
Mm-hmm.
upper echelon,
Yeah.
ruler, they hide their hand real well.
Right. Right.
But they always at war with the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They at war with the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the number one weapon is fear. Number one weapon.
Yeah.
I've been in prison. We talk about, you know, briefly, you know,
Mm-hmm.
my stinks in
Mhm.
this prison, that prison, juvenile place, and all.
Mm-hmm.
But in the course of being in prison, I learned that the only real prison is fear.
Yeah.
They can put fear in you, you a police yourself.
Yeah.
You in prison.
You control
So
everything.
even in prison, I was free. I was free than most people on the
Yeah.
planet.
Because you wasn't in fear.
Right. I wasn't. You got people afraid to think certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Just to think things, you know.
Yeah.
Thought crime. How can you get in trouble with it?
Right.
So you got people that sneaky. They won't even voice their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know these people for years. You know you thinking they agreeing with you and all along. They totally against what you said, but you don't know it because they scared to say it.
Right. Right.
And that's what's happening with you. They the ones in the prison. I ain't in no prison.
Right.
I ain't never been in a prison. My body been in prison, but I ain't never been in a prison.
Right.
I ain't afraid to think whatever.
Yeah. So when they ended up grabbing you, how was that? Like, paint the picture on that.
Oh, when they grabbed me, it was like part of the drama, ongoing drama, that society has going,
Mm-hmm.
The major drama is the people that in control of, got more resources, the media and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So when they grabbed me, they held me in my house running around like little kids,
Mm-hmm.
destroying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's outlet for, envy and stuff. So they held me in the house for about 20 minutes. They had took my wife out, and when they locked up, I'm like, whoa, this ain't no ordinary stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a grip on it.
Yeah.
What could they have on her? She ain't never did anything.
Right.
But she don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna force her hand because they don't know nothing about us. They need people that know us.
Mm-hmm.
Family, friends,
Mm-hmm.
loved ones to turn on us and put them on the stand.
To try to get you to
Yeah. So they locked her up.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, they hold me in there. They hold me in there, and the chief agent, he got my Rolex. He holding it up. He turned the chair around like he just conquered the world, like he Alexander the Great or something. Yeah, he turned the chair around
Mm-hmm.
and sat in it backwards
Mm-hmm.
in front of me, as close as you are to me.
Mm-hmm.
He held up the watch with the diamonds. Yeah, they say you're a Rolex of a man. We gotta give it to you. We can file you for 2 years. You travel first class. But guess what? We got a Rolex of a prosecutor for you.
Mm-hmm.
We got the best down there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm listening to him, let him talk, Because while he's talking, I'm trying to piece it together. I ain't saying nothing. Plus, I'm not giving the satisfaction. They try to get in your head too,
So you can
push your buttons and all.
get you angry.
Yeah, learn your fears and what if it bothers me,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at him like he look at a bug,
Mm-hmm.
fly trying to irritate you.
Mm-hmm.
And don't even react to him, So I find out after a while they was like, they're here,
Mm-hmm.
Come on, bring him out. When I get out there, they got Channel 45, news, this and all. It's a stage production.
Yeah.
It's a story,
Yeah.
It's a crime
Try to
drama.
make example out of it.
Yeah, it's a crime. America love it because, everybody in America is gangster groupies. So
Yeah. Yeah.
they root for the bad guys secretly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They secretly root for the bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
They be in church nodding their heads, everything the preacher say, just to get through that hour, when they get out, they go on to the number. They try to play the numbers.
Yeah.
They try to cop,
Yeah.
cocaine or stuff like that. You got a lot of people. This is human nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's just human nature, that people, you got people pretending to be what they not.
Mm-hmm.
They the bad guys. The ones that pretend to be good guys, law-abiding, and they the bad guys. They get caught too,
Mm-hmm.
messing with the little kids and cheating on their wives,
Yeah.
orgies and all that, the preachers, and Reverend Fallway, Jimmy Swagger and all them. It's a big pimping, man, we talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Man, it's all the same game, it's just a different name on it.
That's all it is.
It's all
As
the
above, so below,
Yeah.
They just on another level and people just can't
Right.
see.
Exactly. They gonna accept what they want to accept from who they want to accept it from.
I mean, when you remember, based on your experience, you know how you see criminality on this level, it's the same on that level.
Yeah, same thing. So, what happened? They tried to put a lot of bodies on you when you was arrested.
Yeah.
How did that play out? Because you said you represented yourself a couple times and all that, so you had to do your homework.
Yeah, you better do that. You can't just take your case and give it to the lawyer.
Yeah.
He's not gonna fight hard for you. He got a lot of cases. He's trying to get in and out of courts as soon as possible so he can get to the next case. So they routinely, convince their clients to you know, the cop out.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the best deal, tell on Rashi.
Mm-hmm.
All of them being on that, man. All of them been on it.
Yeah.
The only way you gonna get them to fight, you gotta make them fight. You gonna fight, man.
Yeah.
And then you can't let them trick you, because a lot of them good actors. They in there banging their fists on the thing and all that. It's all stage production.
Yeah.
You know?
So you when they did that, how did you feel when they tried to throw all them extra bodies on?
How did I feel? I feel like I had to fight, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, we gonna fight, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't pick up no cigarettes, you know, and drink no alcohol, or snort no dope to get through that. You know, that was, that was, you know, natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had the fighting spirit of it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had it.
Right.
See, that's what they do. They take the fight out. They start escalating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they lock you up. If that don't do it, then they ain't gonna lock your mother up, and your girlfriend up, and everybody else. And
Right.
so really, it's not cops and robbers or you know, law and justice.
Mm-hmm.
It's war, really. A lot of times it's war. They trying to stay in power. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Even the cops, the DEA, and all, they don't know the bigger game being played. You know,
Yeah.
they don't know the bigger game being played. They only know what they supposed to know to carry out their job.
Right.
Same with the lawyers and all.
Yeah.
These are just gunslingers,
Yeah.
legal gunslingers, and they got levels to that. You know, the rich people got the best ones.
Yeah.
They got a whole army, you know, departments of lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They might have like, or their law firm might have like 20,000 lawyers all over the world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Best ones, you know.
Right.
And their tactic is to tie you up in court, you know.
Yeah.
And the judge trying to get on their side because they got all the money. The judge ain't trying to piss them off.
Mm-hmm.
He might want them to pull some strings to get his dumbass son into Harvard, Yale.
Yeah.
His mediocre son.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's trying to get in their country club and all that.
Yeah.
So, you know, in case some crumbs fall off the table, he's trying to get that.
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So the thing is, you know, that we have to educate ourselves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, knowledge ain't free, but you don't have to have money to get it. You just have to have a determination, a desire. You
Right.
can get the same knowledge out of a book that they can get.
Yeah.
Every book that they teach you from in Harvard or Yale,
school,
you know,
you
they
can
got
learn
them.
on your
They
own.
got them in libraries, so you can buy them.
Right.
I usually wait for them the dudes that go to college to throw them away because they can't wait to throw them away.
Yeah. So you can get them.
Yeah, what you gonna do with that? I'm gonna throw it away. Give me that book, right?
Yeah.
So it took them like 4 or 5 years because they want the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody else said you need the paper to get a certain job or position. They want the paper. I want the knowledge.
Right.
I want the knowledge more than I want the money. You know?
Right.
And I ain't spending no $100,000 a year to get it
Yeah.
and come home and be in debt.
Cause you could do it without it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could do it without it.
and be in debt and all that. College is big business, man.
Big business.
Big
Huge.
business. Man.
Humongous.
Where that money come from? The banks and all that for the grants, the tuition and all that, the
Yeah.
loans to go to college.
Yeah.
And then you come out and all that. You show the brother the degree, and he was like, "Well, you just got too much education.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got enough education.
Yeah.
You know, you just ain't the right color.
Yeah.
They gonna tell you
Right.
the color barrier. You know?
Right. How you feel about? I know David Simon had a lot to do with the making of the Wire, but he was also before he got into that, he was what was his position?
David Simon, he was a news reporter for the Sun.
How you feel about him?
I feel that he's a creature of self-interest like any other person. You know?
Okay.
And he got in where he fitted. You know.
Yeah. He exaggerated a lot.
Yeah, he exaggerated. We call it poetic license. You know, in fiction, you know, you can make it up. You know?
Yeah.
Even though he claimed that this was non-fiction, he made it up. He didn't know anything about me.
Yeah. I want to read an excerpt that I took from the article. It say, during the trial, according to Simon's reportage, Williams repeatedly mouthed off at Kaufman saying, "Fuck you again, Judge." In Williams' final courtroom speech, he called Kaufman, "Your Lordship of this great star chamber of injustice," and told him that by no stretch of anyone's imagination did I receive a fair trial nor an honest or decent one, because God has given me the sense, dignity, and courage to decline the government's perverted plea bargain of 35 years and the strength to stand up to this prosecution. Your end has been from the very beginning to put me in prison for life. When they got to me, I had, that was something else. So how would that was something that really went down in the courtroom?
Yeah, I let them know, like, you put me, I'm still gonna say what I gotta say.
Yeah.
Words are powerful, man, and they good with the words.
Yeah.
First thing you gotta do is if you really want to express yourself and be your own man, you got to learn the words.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want to get some control and maintain your position in there, you have to understand what they're saying. You have to understand what's saying in there, because they could be plotting on your life or what. You're a lawyer in on it, you don't know.
They speaking a foreign language to you if you don't know what's going on.
That's where their power lies at, because society don't know their power.
Exactly.
You can't challenge them.
Because
you don't know what they say.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to look stupid, so you scared. Like I was saying about the dude sitting in the audience that want to ask questions, but he's scared to ask the questions.
Yeah. So you'll just sit there if you don't find out what's really being said.
That's what happens. They take these gangsters, these drug kingpins, shot calls off the corner. You gotta see them in the courtrooms and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta see them in the courtroom. Huh? These kids heroes and all that. Mm-hmm. Even in the jails. You should see some of them dudes in the jail. Huh? Mm-hmm. You know? So, but that's the fight. They'll take the fight out you, you know.
Yeah.
And even though it's not even really a physical fight, it's psychological. You know? Mm-hmm. Because I'm letting them know you can't take nothing from me, man. I'm a man. You can't take it. Mm-hmm. You can shoot me, beat me, put me in a cell. Mm-hmm. You drop a nuclear bomb on, dead is dead. It don't matter. Whether you choke me at all.
Right, yeah.
I don't fear death.
Yeah.
I don't fear death. You ain't gonna kill me. Death is somebody that's moving around like it's scared of everything. You dead.
Yeah.
Man, you can't do that. You can't do that. Why? Because they said you couldn't do that. You know? But then they ain't come ask me, you know, when they sit down, you know, at the Declaration of Independence, and I wasn't there. I wasn't there when the what was it? 60 session on Session Street, Crips and the Bloods was beefing. I wasn't there, man.
Right.
I wasn't there, so I don't even really know what it's about. Before I sign on to anything, I got to know what it's about. Mm-hmm. Before I sign on the Constitution, Declaration of Independence to the United States and the whole system that came from there, I gotta get to the roots. What was this a beef about? You want me to be mad at King George, the British and all that? Mm-hmm. What was it about? So I studied history, and I realized that at the time, you know, my people, my ancestors, they was slaves. Mm-hmm. They couldn't even vote. They couldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. They get whipped for trying to even speak, you know. Mm-hmm. So how's I'm buying to this beef, you know, this Constitution and thoughts and the tradition that came from them beefing with the redcoats. Mm-hmm. I got to get to the bottom of to free my mind. I'm just not going to get with it because somebody gave me an order and all that. Mm-hmm. You know? No, not me. Right. So I always try to get to the bottom of things.
As you should.
So I can hold my own in front of it. Star Chamber injustice and all. Yeah. Them lawyers don't know nothing about that. That's the British tradition when they go to court, you didn't get they didn't have a Sixth Amendment, you know, the right to confront your accusers, you know. Mm-hmm. You didn't even get to see your witness. What they did, they went around, prosecutors went around and got people, took statements from people to write it down, you know, swear on the oath and all, and they presented them, you know, they looked at whoever got the most sworn statements.
Okay.
So that was a Star Chamber, you know, it was Star Chamber. That's what how the feds operate. Okay. So on paperwork, you know, they buried the truth on the whole gang of paperwork. Yeah. You know, And I know what they doing, so I can say, yeah, nah, you know, I know what y'all was doing.
Right.
You know, and I know. So it don't even matter, you know.
You ain't going for it.
Yeah, I know, you know. You ain't gonna bamboozle me, intimidate me when I doubt myself. And, you know, because when they put fear in your mind and all that, your mind will abandon you. They take you out your comfort zone and they escalate and all. And the stakes get higher and higher. People start
cracking.
Yeah, they start distrusting their own mind and all. They'll jump on anything to get out of the kitchen, you know, to heat too high.
Started keeping faith in their own self.
Yeah. Because you win, you never not gonna win. You know, I done beat dudes before just by taking their heart myself. Dudes I know can beat me playing basketball, more talent, pool or whatever. But they scared to lose. Yeah, they scared to lose.
So you get in their head,
I get in their
talking.
head. Yeah. I take them out their league and all that.
Yeah.
You got $1,000. I know that's all the money they got in the world. You know? Okay, I bet you 5,000 to your 1,000.
Cause you scared to lose that 1,000. That's gonna
change
your whole game.
I ain't worried about winning. You know.
That's gonna change this whole game.
You scared to lose, you're never gonna win because you're not. You know, like I said, it's all boiled down to fear.
Yeah.
It's down to fear. And they know that too.
Right.
Because when they put fear in people and scare people, people will give up their control and give it to them.
Yeah.
We're gonna protect you. You know.
Yeah. They
blowing up shit. You know. These terrorists and all that, but give us the right, you know, to suspend the Constitution, rid of habeas corpus, get these guys in jail, you know, and to put up these cameras and stuff like that, you know, because what's more important, your privacy or your life? So they're gonna create a situation, make it real for you, right? Because they know that they can tell you about we can have a philosophical conversation about, you know, rights. Rights is sacrifices, and they know that that's not going to impact people. So they're going to blow up something, you know, make it real for you. Yeah. And then you're going to be like, oh, yeah, whatever do it. Get him. Right. Whatever you have to do, declare martial law, whatever. Yeah. To get that power. You know?
Right. So how you end up, how did everything play out for you to end up coming home out of that case?
Well, they changed a lot of things that they knew was wrong. Like I said, the 80s, they had just created a new drug position, agency, you know. And they had to get results because people at the end of the day, they got to answer, what you do with this money? American people, you know, even though the American people now organized and all, you still have to please them. Yeah. You still have to please them, like the voters in Maryland, you know. Yeah. Or pretend to please. You got to tell them something. You can't say fuck you.
Right.
You got to tell them something.
Yeah, some guy show for it.
So you got to make it look like, oh, I'm doing shit for you and all that. Same way with that drug position. So they had to lock a lot of people up, and you know you cut on the news every week. You know, it's high visibility. Drug bust. Pick up the newspaper, drug bust. You know, so the people sitting at home start to feel safe again. You know, you know, you get them people off the streets and shit. You know, these killers and the drug dealers, they animals, they predators. But then you had the black politician using the same vernacular as the Europeans. Some of the white racists, and we know they racist. Right. In Congress and all. But then you had the black politician using the same vocabulary, you know, predators and animals, beasts, you know. So, you know, to me, you know, they, like I said, the only difference between them and the pimp on the corner, the Jerry Curl with the red suit on, is that they sharper, they more sophisticated, they more polished. They went to school, you know, to learn a craft, you know, which is basically, you know, pimping. And they smart enough to use the media to teach us that a pimp is that same dude, you know. And we play into it too. We help them out, you know. We embrace that, you know, because we thinking a worthy, role model.
Mm-hmm.
And we embraced it,
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of games being played in society, man. But if you in the game, you might not be in the game, but even if they force you in the game, you ain't got no choice.
Right.
You got to learn the rules and all. You got to study your competition.
Right. So basically, you did your own work and you made a way that they had to release you.
No, actually, they changed the laws.
Oh, okay.
Because they knew they were rushing, they found out a lot of laws they passed, which they knew at the time was unconstitutional. But they accomplished their goal now, So they saying now they done got guys in jail for 30, 40 years, They saying these guys are smart. They did all the time in jail. They ain't gonna want to come back in jail.
Yeah.
So we can let them go.
Right.
We need these cells for their grandsons.
Okay.
Their sons.
Okay. So they let a lot of people out around that time.
Yeah, they let a lot of people out.
Okay.
They let a lot of people out.
What year did you come home?
I came home this year.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I came home May the 12th. It'd be 3 months on the 12th of this month.
Oh, damn. So you went in at what year did you went in?
I went in April 17th, 1990.
Okay. Damn, that was a year after I was born.
Yeah.
And then you came home.
Yeah.
21. That's 31 years.
Yeah, 31 years.
Wow. So how you feel when you came home?
How I feel? I felt good. I felt wonderful. But I was already free before I came home.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like just seeing the environment from all that time.
Oh, how did the environment affect me? A lot of change,
Yeah.
A lot of change,
Mm.
To me, it's better. In some ways, it's worse, which is always the case.
Yeah.
Some things get better, some things get worse at the same time.
Mm.
And the better part is, our people were basically, the local government, it's our people. The bars, the businesses, and more blacks than home.
Right.
The whole city is practically.
Yeah.
Then you got all these trees and stuff that they didn't have on the
Back in the day, it wasn't no trees.
geographically. No, they didn't have all these trees.
Oh, okay.
The reason they planted these trees was because regentrification. White people plan to come back, right? They plan to come back, all right. As Europeans, they catch skin cancer quicker than us. So they need a sunblock.
To
The trees
protect
is a
them
sunblock.
from the sun.
Yeah, it's a sunblock.
Okay.
It's a sunblock.
Okay.
So they planted all these trees to protect them as a sunblock. Also, because they planted to raise the price of gasoline, they phasing it out.
Okay.
They phasing the gasoline out because they know they can't keep burning and stuff like because it's affecting the weather and things like that. That's why you had back-to-back hurricanes, tornadoes, storms, and all kinds because of the emission, pollution in the air. You can see it get darker, so they got a plan. They call it the key code protocol. They try and get all the nations to sign on to it. They got most of them lined up. The United Nations sponsored project. So they cut back on fuel emissions. That's why they get these electric cars becoming popular.
Yeah.
You start to see electric pumps all over the city.
All the parking spots, yeah.
Yeah, because in 10 years, it's, the way they're gonna phase it out, they gonna tax, the gasoline, the emissions. You have to pay for stuff like that. So it's all in the plan. We just got to, in order to take advantage of it and keep up, we got to know what the plan is. We got to cut a lot of him off sometimes. Yeah, watch every episode.
Yeah. Pick up
I see it in sometimes,
How, so you wrote books while you was in as well?
About 15 books.
I seen the King Richard.
No, King Richard was a newspaper article. David Simon wrote.
Okay, try to base
back
it off.
in the days.
Okay.
Just compared me to King
King
Ratchet,
Richard,
this
oh.
humpback king, or he was a monster. You know, he killed his nephews and all them, so that they couldn't inherit the throne. You know, he ain't had no competition.
Okay.
Anybody that was in line, you know, to inherit the throne, he killed
Take
them and
him
all.
out. Yeah, so
He
they
was totally
compared
wicked.
you to him
Yeah, they compared me to him. Right?
because of all the bodies. They was trying to compare that.
Excuse me. Yeah, they compared me with him, not because the bodies, they don't really care about bodies. You know?
Okay.
They don't care about bodies. You know? They make a big thing out of, you know, the food of people and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's not the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
It's the love and respect. It's the influence, you know, the people in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Consider, you know, they know I was a real person.
Yeah.
I don't play no games with nobody. My word's my bond. And
Mm-hmm.
they know that.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't too much we know for certain in life.
Yeah.
But when they come to, for me,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I say, I mean what I say what I mean, and everybody know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just that alone, people respect you for that.
Mm-hmm.
People talk all kinds of nonsense and all, say all kinds of things and all,
Mm-hmm.
and never make good on them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, just that alone, you know, people, because it takes strength to do that.
Yeah.
Even if you have to go against yourself sometimes,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Because I might tell you today I'm going to give you some money Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Friday come, my money might look funny.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. So if I give you that money, I got to go against myself.
Yeah.
And most people ain't going to do that.
Right.
They're going to spend you, you know. But with me, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And everybody know that.
Mm-hmm.
They know that.
Mm-hmm.
Just that alone, right, you know, that one thing alone is why people respect it.
Mm-hmm.
People respect it. And they didn't like that.
Yeah.
Because they went to the hood, you know,
Mm-hmm.
asking people about me, trying to tell, you know. Some people lied to them because they ain't know nothing about me, or they just ain't gonna tell them nothing about me.
Mm-hmm.
They lied to them because informant on the 800 number, that's the new welfare, man. It ain't the new welfare, it's been like that.
Yeah.
Dude fall down on his luck, he broke and all that.
Let me tell
Hung
you
out,
something.
went on the bench, he broke and all. He called it 1-800 number. Yeah, I know who did it.
Get some money.
Rashid did it, you know, Rudy. Oh yeah, all right. But they ain't gotta go to court, not like,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, the powers, they know that they lying to them and all that, but they know, like, you shift through it and all, there's some truth in there and all. And they just want to know what's going on in the hood.
Yeah.
They paying people to tell them everything.
Because they know money rule the world.
Yeah, you know, they telling them to tell. But like I said, in my case and all that, it was like, this nigga, you know, he got people devoted to him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We got guns on these people. We tell these people, we gonna put your ass in jail if you don't give us that nigga.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get on the stand, if you don't tell us what this nigga doing and all that, and people stood up to him, nah, I ain't gonna do it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
It was a.
What's the origin of his strength and all that?
It was a.
He's a soldier and all that. So they started rumors. They started rumors and shit like
Mm-hmm.
killing people over girls and stuff like that. Because they
That's
know
what-
we don't respect that in the hood.
They was saying that about you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they started rumors and all that. And a lot of people, our people, you know, don't think and all that. And a lot of people got caught up with it. You know, at the end of the day, you done ran, you know,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up there. And then you get there, you like, you ask them, it's like, well, who did he kill over a girl?
They can't say
They
that.
can't tell you.
Yeah.
They realize, damn, you know, I don't even, you know, it's like watching a movie for 2 hours, and then at the end of the movie, you ask them what the movie's about. Oh man, I don't know.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta watch it again. You know?
Mm-hmm. It was a part in that article that said something about it. He tried to bribe a guy to tell on you, and the guy was like, you gonna just had to take me.
Yeah, it was the guy, Derek Tell.
Okay.
He was on my jury in 1985 with the murder cases. He was a juror. He hung the jury.
Because he was the only one that.
And they locked him up.
Okay.
Gave him a $500,000 bail because.
He wouldn't make you guilty.
Right, they had to save face. They embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
The
That's
street
crazy.
nigga with a GED, you know.
Yeah.
Street nigga with a GED beat this case and shit against him. Open shut case.
Right.
Oh no, he couldn't beat us straight up. He cheated. You know? He bribed the jury. You know?
Right.
So he went out and locked the boy up, man. And then, all right, I get out of that later on. They couldn't do nothing and all that. They put that in the paper, save face. You know, they embarrassed and shit like that. I cheated. You know, I cheated. I wasn't the only one cheating though. What about you? You were cheating. But anyway, I didn't do that though.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna take credit for that, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I ain't bribed to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But you know excuses.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, 5 years later when the feds come along, they go get the dude and all that. Tell us what Rudy pays you and all, and testify against it. We let you go on this murder. He had a murder for killing his girlfriend. Just tell us. You ain't gotta go to jail on it. That's how bad they want. That girl life don't mean nothing to her. She's just a stepping stone. You know?
Yeah.
We let you go. You know? And he told him, he was like, nah, fuck y'all. I ain't telling them that. They encountered that throughout the West Coast. They encountered it. They started with my family, my friends, right? Hit a brick wall. They went to New York. My in-laws hit a brick wall.
Well,
and then they went out in the street. They started combing the jails and, you know, and offering the world to dudes, you know.
Nobody came.
Yeah, nah, they can't even. They gonna get somebody sooner or later.
Okay.
Yeah, they get somebody. They get somebody. So they when they came into court, you know, these are all liars and actors and stuff. All liars. And I ain't saying I wasn't dealing drugs, you know. But that case that you put on against me, I was not guilty for that.
Yeah. That's all that
You
matters.
didn't convict me on the truth, you convict me on fabrications.
Yeah.
I was not guilty for it.
Right.
But I'm not gonna sit up and tell the world, you know, in the black community that I wasn't dealing with drugs. Yeah, they knew that. They knew that I was. But they put us in a situation we have to do things like they do it.
Yeah.
That's their affirmative action. You know, that's the only way a black man can get affirmative action is, you know, stealing this. Stealing everything he can get, you know, cutting corners and all that, you know.
The guy, Freeway Ricky Ross, he said in one of the interviews he said that back in the day, the government would just drop drugs off by the railroad tracks, and that was their way of putting the drugs in the hoods back then. Is that?
You go back even farther than that. It goes back. You talking about the 80s? We talking. You go back to the 60s and all. Drugs, heroin, which will put you to sleep, take your energy. You don't want to do anything. But no. They put that in our neighborhood during the time of the Vietnam War.
But they put it there.
Yeah, they put it there. During the time, not just the Vietnam War, but time of the black liberation movement, black power movement, civil rights. They put that in there then, you know.
For that project to be done, to get these people to...
Get these people to go to sleep, you know, fall off. Because when you high off there, all you want to do is sit around nod. And enjoy your high like these kids with the Percocets nowadays. You notice that every decade and every generation, you know, they got a whole new type of drug and a new lifestyle.
I always see that. I always see that.
Lifestyle to go with it and all that.
The popular drug.
They was afraid of hip hop, man. Hip hop, rap music. Before it was even hip hop, rap music. They was afraid of that, right? Because it's a militant response. It was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, you say do this, we gonna play by our own rules now. We ain't playing by your rules.
That's why when people like NWA and them came out, they was on their back because they was rebellious against the police and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah, ask yourself a question, you know. To get to the truth, you gotta always ask the right question. What brought about hip hop?
what about it? Other genres, like you turn from different genres to turn into.
No,
Okay.
not really either. And it didn't come from other music.
Okay.
Inspiration for hip hop came from us not having anything. So we had to create our own enjoyment.
True.
Same with the skull caps,
Yeah.
the baggy pants, all these styles, they come from us not having it.
Yeah.
Soul food,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which was they leftovers and stuff back
Yeah.
then. So we create. But to add more context to hip hop is that hip hop came from us not having any role models and stuff in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of role models. We had civil rights leaders,
Mm-hmm.
spiritual fathers.
Mm-hmm.
We had the nationalists,
Mm-hmm.
the Black Panthers,
Mm-hmm.
and even some of the street Jews were being molded and shaped into activists, community activists.
Mm-hmm.
They was, oh shit, they can organize, man.
Yeah.
They get powerful, man. So we gotta turn them against each other, man. So what they did, the Panthers, they killed them all. The ones they didn't kill, they locked them up. Nationalists too, because they was uncompromising. We want our freedom. We don't want no. We want land. We want our own nation. We want nationality.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we ain't getting all that now.
Yeah. Too much.
Yeah, y'all want some. Y'all want to sit down and eat with us at the restaurants?
No.
Y'all want to come in the front door? Y'all can get that.
We give you a little bit.
But your own nation,
Nah.
corporations, no, y'all can't get that.
We gotta eat
So the
off
ones
y'all.
that was asking for that, they locked them up or killed them. Man.
Mm-hmm.
They locked them up. We want political freedom complete. No, you ain't getting it.
Right.
Okay. So this is in the 60s and the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time 70s come around, J. Hoover co-telling program that they had to wage war on black people, the black community, had destroyed the leadership, chopped the head off Malcolm X,
Yeah.
Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
Stokely Carmichael. If they wasn't dead, Huey Newton, they was in jail or in exile.
Yeah.
They was on the run.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got all these young black teenagers, males and females, are out there with no leadership ability.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ain't got no leadership, what you do? You create your own purpose and directions,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to express themselves. They wasn't educated, they ain't had a vocabulary words.
Mm-hmm.
So they start rapping on the corners.
Right. Okay.
And it was militant.
Got you.
The message,
Got you. Yeah.
Grandmaster Flash and
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And then they say, oh shit, they got something strong there.
Yeah.
We got to, they keep going in that direction and all that, we might be in trouble. You know,
Yeah.
they waking up too much. So what we got to do, we got to turn that around.
Right.
Turn that around. So they start stepping to them and all that. Look, man,
Mm-hmm.
look, man, we give you a deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to change your lyrics and all. The people want to dance and shit. They want to relax,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
They want to get high, you know?
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to hear no about, it's like a jungle sometimes. You wonder why you keep from going under.
Yeah.
You want to make them forget that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but they were still rapping and all, and the rapping was a weapon, a force. They didn't know it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It just came about naturally, you know. But society, the corporate America, realized that was a threat.
Yeah.
That was a threat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because what rap was doing was turning away from society.
Yeah.
So we got to turn them back,
Right.
you know. That's what the word attorney means, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When people turn away from society and their laws, the attorney is the one that turn them back before That was during feudal time when you had landlords, real landlords, where they was your lords. You got to ask them, can you go up the road? You get a pass. Can you move? And when you tried that, they had lawyers, not lawyers, but attorneys, that turn you back to the system to contracts and leases like they doing now.
Yeah.
The word release. The word release. People thinking, oh, they getting out of jail. You know? Or they getting ready to release our album, you know, new album.
Yeah.
You know, but the word release and everybody, oh, that's a good thing and all that. But is it really? What did release mean? I mean, you had a lease and you broke it. And you do it over again.
Right.
So they buying you back. Well, lease don't know, the lease buying you to something.
Yeah.
To a commitment or agreement or something.
Yeah.
And the word comes from back right after slavery. They passed the law, that 13th Amendment, that you cannot be held to involuntary servitude except upon conviction of a crime. So they was smart. They had lawyers back then. They was like, damn, how we can get these people back in slavery? You know, they be down there stealing the watermills and all that. So they lock you back up. They convict you for stealing the watermill. Put you in prison. They turn around, lease you out to the corporations, the plantations again. Release you, because you broke the first lease. So when they release you back into society, they got a new lease on you, probation. The feds will put you on probation for the rest of your life. And it's all kinds of terms and all that. So it's got to understand the words and the language and stuff. You got to dig deep, you know, you got to keep digging and all.
You got to understand, it's best to, what I'm getting from this, everything, this conversation is, it's just best to do your homework on everything. You want to know your knowledge, you want to know what you're talking about, you want to know what you're receiving. If they telling you things, you want to know what are you telling me. I want to find out every single thing. Don't just go with the flow, because you'll be pulled under the rug quick.
Yeah, they made a decision. They got policies and all. Why they have policies and all? Because that's for everybody get behind us. Unity, you know. Everybody get behind. This is the policy, right? So they had policies that they made it illegal for us to read or write, to educate us. You know, you can go to jail for that. You know, to keep us in the darkness so we can't see anything. Like Samson, we Samsons today. You know, these Samsons today, they don't have to literally pluck your eyes out. The school system would pluck your eyes out. The media. So
that's real.
We Samson. What Samson, big and strong, athletic, you know, jumping out the gladiator, you know, with the lines and all that, jumping out of trees on lines, and you know, we doing that now, but we ain't jumping on lines. We jumping over the hoops and stuff like that in the gym to, you know, to make somebody else's billions while we get a million. They in control of it. So the old white men in the corporate America, right? They the Delilah of the Bible. They the Delilahs. We shriveled up, soft, most of them, because they don't do no real work. All they do is sit behind a desk. But they controlling us. They controlling us through the mind. You weaken somebody's mind, you can do that through hypnosis. You seen that before? You can't get up. You can't get up. You can't, they relax you so well that you actually can't do it. You ever been in the jacuzzi for the first time? Sitting there too long. And the mind's a muscle like that too. And they relax their mind and all.
When you don't work.
And you mentally, you solve.
You gotta exercise.
So that's us today, you know, we jumping out of gyms and all that, but they controlling us.
I got 2 more questions for you, then we're gonna wrap up. Who is somebody that you you looked up to growing up?
When I was young, I looked up to a lot of dudes I hear about, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. When I was real young, neighborhood, tough guys. And every one of them guys, that I thought was tough based on what people said about them, they point them out when they come to the neighborhood. That's so-and-so, so-and-so. Oh, that's him, Man, I can put a face to the name.
Okay. You just heard about him, you never seen him.
Right, I was like, damn,
Okay. Yeah.
And then, 2 or 3 months and all that, somebody else be chasing him down the street. When he get into it and all that, somebody put their finger in the face, you punk ass, man, why gotta be all that, why gotta be all. I was like, damn,
My hero's crushed.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to bite the dude's finger off,
his
neck off or something,
Yeah.
I was like, he punked out, And that happened to every dude, that I heard something about, that's supposed to be like her. He's punking out now. So I was like, damn, I ain't punking out.
Yeah.
Police pull a gun on me and all, get that gun out of my face, man, I was young and crazy, Yeah, because I ain't punking out like that. And but then I read about George Jackson, Shaker Bar and all them dudes. They was the real deal.
That's what I was going to ask you about. That's why I asked that.
Nat Turner, Harry Newton. But Harry Newton, he got, in the end, he got soft. Yeah, he wasn't that dude. He got scared. He still, hiding, but he got scared in the end. Yeah, he couldn't handle it. That's why he turned to the dope and to getting high and all. He still, though, you can't take credit from him, when he was young,
Yeah.
See, a lot of everybody, when they're young, got hot, because they ain't really seen no death and they ain't really experienced them.
Yeah.
The time you just catch a couple bullets, a couple daggers in you, you be starting, that shit hurt, man. But when you're young, everybody got hot.
Yeah.
But the option is, take that person, do they still have heart, when they get my age? They still got heart? They scared now. And when they get scared, you know what they do? They start putting fear in other people. Right. Man, don't do this. Don't trust that person. They out here. It's crazy out here. Watch yourself.
Because they can't do
That's the prison I'm talking about.
Yeah, the mental prison.
Yeah, I stay in the house. I don't go out, What the hell is you living for? What is you living for? You gonna put yourself in a prison.
Yeah.
What is you living for, If you just gonna stay in the house, wait on social services, what are you living for, man?
Yeah.
You got a right to be all you can be, You got a right to be all you can be, You might be the greatest this or the greatest that, but you would never know because you're scared.
Right.
You're scared of failure. You're scared of losses. Your life don't really begin. You don't start living till you lose your fear of everything. Losses, failure, criticism. Once you lose that, then you got a lot of people out there that could probably put Denzel to shame, or Lawrence Fishburne, but we'll never know because they ain't gonna get to that point because somebody might talk about it. The first couple times.
Scared to hear that criticism.
Yeah, man, but that's letting other people hold you back and you hold you back.
Yeah.
You got to lose that fear, man. When you lose that fear, then you can do anything.
Right. 100% agree.
You take yourself out the wishing world where I wish I had a helicopter.
Yeah.
I wish I lived in a mansion.
Yeah.
Or I wish I had a bad B like Beyonce, Kim, Kardashian. That wishing world, fantasizing and all that.
Yeah. Well, you said that about George Jackson in the I seen in the article they were saying that because that's the people they say that's the guy they say started the BGF thing, right?
California.
So, and you made a perfect example of what I've always been saying. about the gang stuff with the Bloods and Crips and all. Like you said in the article, it was if I'm mistaken, you were saying that all the gangs were started for the right reasons. Everybody else just changed it into what it became when it came to the
It
kids.
became corrupt and corrupt.
Just like the Bloods and Crips was community. Most of the stuff was for the right reasons, but then they changed it into a bad narrative. So when they bring up was they, because I know that when was that article? That was 2015, the one I'm referring to.
2015.
Because was he trying to implement you into the gang stuff? Because the BGF stuff with that.
No, not the reporter.
Okay.
Not a reporter. It was rumors, you know, that I started BGF back in the days.
Okay.
But the BGF came from California. We was militant and
Okay.
you know, we had the Black Dragon family.
Okay.
But I know all the dudes, you know.
Okay. Okay.
I know all the dudes.
But you was mainly. I only asked that because you brought him up in when I said who you look up to, but it was mainly for the principles part of
Right.
all the people you named.
Oh, George Jackson in there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All about the principles.
Yeah, they talk George Jackson, Soul Dad, Brother Blood Mine, but they ain't understand the books and they probably read them one time, you know.
Yeah.
They're not serious, in other words,
Right,
you know, they
right.
should be. You know.
Right. Yeah. So the last two questions is, now that you home, the whole new world, what's your plans for the future now?
My plan is to put myself in a position to help my people, to be able to do what I want to do, to have no restrictions and chains on me, ultimately, you know. And it'll take money, you know, to do things in society. And the money is in entertainment, which we dominate the performance level, but not the business level. But we getting there, you know.
Yeah.
And the money is there. It's not no barrier for us to get in there.
Yeah.
In some fields, some businesses, there's still barriers there
Right.
that we got to climb and overcome or knock down, you know. But in entertainment, there's no barriers there.
Yeah.
You talking about love and hip hop? You talking about what you call fellas and convicted criminals and stuff like that, which you damn near have to be that to have credibility. You talking about street dudes?
That's all they want to hear.
Yeah, you know.
Oh,
So that's the field, you know, that your criminal record is not a liability. It's actually our assets.
Yeah.
And the movies and all. Anything related to entertainment.
Yeah.
I remember when the first time, you didn't see no black people on TV. That was the 60s.
Right.
First black person I seen on TV was Sidney Poitier.
Okay.
And I seen him, I ran out the room, you know. I was like, oh, it didn't feel right, you know.
Yeah.
What the fuck they doing? They done fucked up. What
Man.
the country going to, you know.
And Cicely Tyson and all.
Yeah,
She was around that time too?
Yeah.
Or that was later?
That was later,
Okay.
you know, I seen all that, but she was around, right? But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times we had to have our own venue of entertainment, what they call a chilling circus,
Yeah.
because they come in town.
Right.
Like we had, it was a street.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania Avenue in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis is Bill Street. Harlem is Lenox Avenue with Apollo.
Yeah.
You got cleaners, business, and
All the national
since we
black.
couldn't go in their store, and then the entertainers come in, they
This
go
was
for
our
service.
this was our strip.
They be hungry, sweaty after they do 7 or 8 sets of entertainment. They hungry. They was like, you know, they love that soul food and all. Where can we get some children from? You know?
Right.
So they call it the Children's Circus.
Okay.
It's a book on there called the Children's Circus.
Okay.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you read it, you become informed, and your eyes are open to a level that most people ain't, especially young people. You know.
Yeah.
So that's good to read. You know.
Absolutely.
You understand deeper. Your understanding is deeper, and you able to understand.
Yeah.
If you don't have that knowledge, you don't read, then you can't even understand what's going on there.
That's why they always say if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book.
Yeah, put it in a book. But
Yeah.
you know, it's deeper knowledge to that too, you know,
Right.
because we don't read books.
Right.
We don't have to read books. You know, don't nobody have to draw. We so swift that they learn how to use it against us. One time, we the ones that wrote the scrolls and did all the teaching. You go back 10,000 years ago before they were civilized, or so-called civilized. You know. Now, I don't want nobody to misunderstand that this is racism. I'm talking racism.
No.
This is history. You know?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of white people out there that's good people. You know, they treat you better than your own people. Help you, want to see you successful. And I got friends like it, and I know it.
Okay.
So this ain't racism, but this is history. This is all right. We didn't need no books enough. Did you learn how to dance from a book, or went to school to learn?
No.
Play basketball?
No, not from a book.
Or anything, you know? We just natural.
Yeah.
We just natural. We pick up quick and all. So the average young boy out there, he ain't gonna pick up no book. How long it take to read a book? 3 hours. They gonna watch you though.
Yeah.
Like with 50, he didn't learn how to direct and produce movies
From a book.
from a book. He didn't go to school for that.
Yeah. He
Throw
got in the
parties
field.
and all that. Puffy and them kids are billionaires and all.
You gotta get in the field. Yeah.
Making music and all that. They created it. This is they learned, and then you have these people learning from them, which they always learn from us. Watch us.
Stole from us.
Yeah. We are created, naturally created. You ever heard Ego Tripping by Nick and Giovanni?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She said she blew her nose, you know, and oil popped up from the ground, something like that. You know?
Yeah.
We are naturally created.
Right.
But we're not living in a society we created.
Right.
We live in a society where somebody else created rules and forced us to play the game. So if you want to win, you got to study the rules.
Right.
You got to, it's like chess, checkers, and any game has rules. And life is a game. If we're not going to win, being ignorant of the rules.
Right.
They're going to blow the whistle. Whoop, foul. What you mean, you know? So you have to study. Study, you know. That's why, you know, they underestimate me a lot of times. They thought I ain't know no law, you know. Because the first thing they do, they grab your record, you know. How far he went in school, you know. He got a GED. Oh yeah, we got
No.
Yeah, but I know more about you than you know about me. Why do I know more about them, or I'm making my business to know more about them? Because I want to win. I want to win.
Right.
You want to keep on losing and shit? Keep on watching, wasting your time watching stuff that they don't.
Yeah.
You want to win, study, man.
My last and final question is what I ask all the guests that come on the show is, what does Baltimore mean to you?
Baltimore is my home. You know, I grew up on. I love Baltimore. Baltimore loved me, man. Even with all the flaws.
Yeah.
Even with my flaws, they still love and embrace me. You know? Right. And the love is more powerful than that.
Yeah.
It's like you love your grandmother. You know, she ain't got no teeth left in her mouth. You know? She might be blind in one eye. You know, but when you look at her, you know, she's like the queen. You know, you queen. You don't see none of that. You know, she might not even can take care of herself no more. You know, you might have to go up there, you know, and change her diaper. You know? Like when she, because you know, we start out, you know, as a baby, and we end up back in the baby.
Yeah. Come full circle.
Yeah, because the baby had to be taken care of.
And then you gotta take care.
And then the older people gotta be taken care of if they live that long.
Right.
But you love your baby the same way your grandmother and all that. And that's, I use that analogy for Baltimore.
Okay.
Everybody was like, you gonna leave Baltimore when you get, what I'm gonna leave Baltimore for?
Yeah.
I don't run from nothing.
Right.
I don't run from nothing I deal with. I'm gonna leave Baltimore,
Yeah.
go somewhere else.
Right. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Well, in closing, I appreciate you for this time, and I learned a lot with this, and I know everybody listening will, everybody watching will, and definitely enjoyed this episode a ton. And I just wanted to let everybody know watching or listening, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and on the podcast apps. I want to thank my Uncle Kemp for putting this together for me. Definitely do it. He definitely hit me and told me, my man, be great for your show. And I said, bring him. Let me know. So he definitely put this together. So in closing, we out. We need. Oh, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity.
No problem.
Put my 2 cents in.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
In the pot, you know.
Man, got an extraordinary story, and that's I always say this the whole point of this platform. Like, if you get a chance to check out all the rest of them on here that I did, so I say all the time, this show wouldn't be nothing without my guests. It ain't me. I don't take like I did another show Tuesday, and I was just Wednesday. I was just talking. They was trying to give me my props and all that, and he was like, you don't really be. You be humble with it, and I'll be like, cause it ain't nothing without me. Like, I just want to put this out to the world. Like, I want everybody else in the world to see this, see what we offer, what we got, and to know that we got more than what you see the wire. We got more than drugs, and we got more than just violence. Like, this is a beautiful city, and it birthed a lot of beautiful people, and I cherish it. That's why I said I love what you said, everything you said. So, you know, it was my pleasure to have you on here.
All right.
Oh man.
We out.
Yeah, we out. We Need Answers podcast.